The gang's all here. Scott, you've disappeared. There we go. There's Scott.
You put me backstage.
No, I'm so sorry. Sorry. You're front, as they say in England, you're front of house, my friend. How's everybody? First of all, welcome back, Scott.
Thank you.
2 weeks too many. We really missed you.
It's a pleasure to be back, really. I
know
miss you guys too.
The hurricane didn't affect you.
Not a drop.
Thank
a little
God
breeze. It was. We've had worst afternoon thunderstorms. It was really fortunate for us. Yeah.
Oh, good. We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
And of course, James. James is here. How are you, James?
I'm good. I'm sort of had my little nap, so I'm all ready for my late night lineup.
You're close up, Mr. DeMille. Well, it's good to see you. Just to let you know, Carl, Jack is subbing again tonight. Carl is away. He's actually on the plane coming back now from Finland and Poland. And
Anthony, there's internet on the planes these days.
That's what I say. Hey, you heard what was going on tonight. The show must go on. I never want you complaining again.
Don't call in sick.
That's right. So Carl was in Finland and Poland. And I kept seeing on Facebook every day his meals with Polish vodka, Polish this, Polish that. Yeah, so he's having a good old time on the Columbia Dime, which is very nice. Actually, he was invited by a very prestigious. When you get to Carl's level, he's close to getting a Nobel, right? They get invited all over the world, right? So
we need to have him tell everybody some week what he actually does. I mean, he mentioned it, but it sounded.
It's fascinating. It's called stochastic modeling, and it's about. I can't even tell you what it's about, but it's fascinating. But he's also a mathematician. He's one of those guys, like brilliant man. Plus, a super nice person and a great reviewer for Audiophilia. And so, Jack, you were here again, and we love having you. And it's great. Oh, you're home. How was the trip?
It was great. We had great fall color, good group, but the traveling back and forth, flying, it's not. But it's so good to be home and not eating in a restaurant. And I'll be here for 2 weeks, and I'm back to Seattle, and I'll be in fact, I'll be in going through Port Angeles. So I should take the boat over.
You should. Yeah. It's on the code.
I'll be in Forks, Washington.
Yeah, we got a guest.
Forks, Washington. Been there?
Where are you going? Sorry?
Forks.
No, but I know if you're in Port Angeles,
Olympic
we can see you. The Olympic Mountains are right there. How long are you going for?
Let's see. I'll be at Whidbey for a week and then up in the Olympic Peninsula for about 5 days.
You should take a trip over. We'd look after you. A slap-up meal.
My goal is to get home. I got to get home in case Scott gets another hurricane or Jim decides to sleep in tonight at 1 o'clock.
Never leaving me again.
When you're the super sub, I got to be ready.
Anyway, hopefully you'll have some. Hopefully you'll have some Wi-Fi there. Okay, so first of all, welcome everybody. Great to see everybody. Our imaginary friends. Let's go through some questions. There were a lot of questions already. Andrew from Oz said, "Have a great show." Thank you. We will. Andrew is from Canberra, Australia. Mm-hmm. And please discuss DG's Isai's 6 violin sonatas released on vinyl with Hilary Hahn, one gramophone record of the year. She's amazing. I have not heard. I know Tom Bowes, our buddy, who's been on the show, a friend, as they say, a friend of the show. Tom's recording is incredible. Jim, have you heard Hilary Hahn's version?
Yeah, I have actually.
Can you tell Andrew what you think?
I think they're really good. I mean, I didn't know the Isai until you said about Tom Bowes. And but I've always admired Hilary Hahn. We reviewed her recordings with she did the Tchaikovsky, didn't she? And
Phil, who sounded great.
A Higdon one, and I think she's a very fine violinist, and I think these Isai sonatas are fantastic. Just goes to show you there's a lot of repertoire out there that in many ways just goes by the radar for like decades, if not centuries, and then you suddenly find these things. But no, excellent. Yeah, good call there from Andrew. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Jim. There you go, Andrew.
Hey, Anthony, is it me or is there just a lot of new, kind of young, compared to me anyhow, young talent all of a sudden in the last year or two being found? Is it just me or?
No, it's not just you, but I tell you what happens is when making a CD is quite easy. So they just buy the sound time, buy the engineer, and make a CD. And they're on these boutique labels, and like Triptych or Cedille and stuff, non-profits. And there's just so much talent out there. Jack, you know what it's like. And when you were gigging around in New York, if they didn't call you, there's another 30 trumpet players they can call, right?
300.
So, yeah, 300. That's right.
You ever see the 802 book? It's about that thick.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Well, what I have noticed though, in confirmation of this, Jack, a lot of these young violinists and whatever are recording with German sort of youth orchestras or young camera academies, and
young
Bremen and I presume it's probably cheaper than hiring the Berlin Phil or the London Phil to record them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just goes to show there are so many of these young German orchestras dotted around, and they seem to do very well recording these young soloists. So there's obviously quite a healthy scene in Europe for new.
I have to tell you, if you have a streamer, you could just never leave your house.
Never.
It's so much. It's unbelievable.
Amazing. A lot of great stuff. Stephen White. Stephen, I'm not sure if you're new or you're a returning champion, as they say. Stephen has some good comments. He said pre-show, looking forward to the catch-up tomorrow. As always, he's in the UK. He loves the show. Thank you very much. We love bringing it to you.
Thank you.
So you might discuss and give some sagely advice regarding turntable mats. I have an LP12. That's a great question. I love felt mats. I mean, I'm strange that way. I'm a Lynn fanboy. I'm a Rega fanboy. And so when I listen to Rega, when I review the Rega Naya, that beautiful, very expensive Rega turntable, I put the mat on it, and then I didn't use a clamp. I love clamps, as you know, if you watch my last video. I love
yeah.
But no, when I'm playing Rega and when I played Lynn, no mats, just whatever comes with the turntable. Because Ivor at Lynn and Roy Gandy have very specific ideas about how they do musical playback, and I don't see, John Stratton, who made that turntable behind me, started off by modifying and having a very successful business modifying Regas. And he actually gave me a mat the other day to try, and I didn't like it. I won't mention the name of it. And when I had the Rega Planer 3 and a 25, I bought the ring mat. Do you remember the ring mat, guys? Anyone out there? Ring mat?
I never had one, but I remember it. Yeah.
It was quite effective, but it was ugly. And I'm an aesthetics guy. Harmony guy in aesthetics. And I would say, do you want to look good or feel good? You look marvelous. I want my turntables to look marvelous. Anybody else have any sagely advice for Stephen about his LP12 and mats?
Well, I agree with you. When I had one, I used the included mat, and it was fine. I didn't experiment. So
did you have an LP12?
Yeah, I did. That was my first big turntable.
Oh, you did? What made you get rid of it? Was it just keeping it calibrated?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
When you have to buy a jig to put it on to calibrate the damn thing, but it is an incredible turntable. Right. And it has many years, and you can upgrade it. But the pricing. Anybody else about mats? So I guess go ahead.
I bought the mats. I can't remember. I'll look them up, but it's an aftermarket mat. It's kind of a rubbery mat. I want to get the name right because I'll get them wrong. So I'm going to pass for now.
Anyway, so there you go, Stephen. As far as Scott and I were concerned, I would stick with the felt. I love it. We know our friend Michael Farmer doesn't like felt mats and things. so everyone has their own opinion about stuff. But I it's not that I love the felt mat. I just like the way it looks, the way it feels, and it's an original, right? It's OEM. And Stephen also mentioned something. This is really interesting. In flute-related news, Sebastian Jacot has been passed over by the Berliners. He didn't make it through his probationary period. That is, and my comment was, what? That's crazy. It's because I said he's a supreme talent, but they are a fickle bunch. So what happens with the Berlin Phil guys is you do the audition. I'm not sure how many people they auditioned. And then you have 2 years probation. And many times people do not get in. Carrie Dennis, principal viola at the LA Phil, got the Berlin Phil. She didn't pass in. The principal clarinet, the great soccer playing, handsome fellow who plays clarinet, Ottensamer, he made it by 1 vote. That's it, 1 vote. Otherwise, he was gone, right? So Sebastian Jacot, in 2015 at the Nielsen Flute competition, I saw this guy. He was so far ahead of everybody else, who all had great fingers and sound, but he was an artist, this man. It's Sebastian Jacot. He studied with someone who I've worked with, Concertgebouw, and my goodness, Jen, who was the fellow that I did the master classes with? Do you remember? Oh God, I forget. Anyway, principal of Concertgebouw in Boston. Anyway, yeah, thank you, darling. Thank Jacques Soon. Way to go, producer. Jacques Soon. So he was a student of Jacques Soon in Geneva, and he won the competition. And I thought to myself, he is not long. Someone's going to just grab him and take him. So all of a sudden I hear he's got the Leipzig Gewandhaus principal. Doesn't shock me. Then I hear San Francisco offered him a job. They pay a lot of money in San Francisco, and he turned it down. And they get Berlin. So now Berlin have dumped him. And meanwhile, San Francisco took Eugene Kim, the other giant flute player, who I think they may offer him the job. And if you're watching the John Williams in Berlin, that concert on the DG, but a lot of it's on YouTube. When they do Leia's theme and that flute solo, that's Eugene Kim guesting with the Berlin Phil. He's a fantastic flute player. Anyway, flute stuff. So, but thank you so much, Stephen, for the flute gossip. And then Stephen said again, Stephen, boy, very valuable member of the Peanut Gallery tonight. Hillary's Isaïe was released on a DG set at 45 RPM. All on vinyl. That's right. Andrew mentioned that. Ashamed to say I have it, but haven't listened to it yet. But we'll report back next week. Thank you, Stephen. And of course, Joey's here. Hi, everybody. It's the best night of the week. It sure is. And our friend from Maui says, Anthony had the Juilliard String Quartet recording of the Bartok in Columbia. Sound pretty good. Is there another version on vinyl you recommend? Yeah, well, that's I would get, I think there's a remastering somewhere, and I would get that because the Bartok own those quartets. But if you're going to get them, I would get them on, dare I say it, on compact disc and get the Alban Berg Quartet. Oh my God. They're really, really good. We're going to do the Bartok quartets as a building a library soon. So,
some of the Sony reissues of the Columbia stuff on CD actually sounds better than the records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, there's some CDs I've been listening to. I've got some coming.
Yeah.
And Leanne, my dear Leanne, hi, bonsoir. And Alan, hello, music lovers. Sky. Hi, Sky.
Hi, Sky.
Sky, I'm going to need your email, if you don't mind. If you can send it to publisher@audiofilia.com, please. I need it. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm not stalking you, but I will just show you this. That's all I'm going to show you until we start stuff. But it was always. I'll tell you the story when I show you the record. Oh, did you buy it?
I did buy it.
And oh my God, Sky, you are costing us.
He is, and he may cost a divorce.
Yeah,
and that's going to be more than this.
Sky, you're kicking it, man. It's fantastic. And then Frederick says, "Wow, Forks is remote."
It is remote, and there's no record stores at Forks.
Damn it. Hello all. Hi, Robert. How are you? And Wicked Exile said, "Hola." Okay, hello, gentlemen. That's right. That's 2 people, you and Michael Fremer. but felt holds dust like a magnet. Andy. You're absolutely right. It shouldn't work. I just like the way it looks, and I'll be honest with you, dust is not a big deal for me. I mean, we were talking about this with John Stratton the other day, with these two record players and a cleaning machine, and I don't hear clicks and pops. Remember how many clicks and pops? I don't hear it. It's like listening to a CD, but incredible sound. It's amazing. But you're absolutely right, Wicked Exile. It does hold dust. You have to be careful.
Between record mats and brushes and fluids and stylus cleaners and all and Sky's records, we're going to all need another equity mortgage on our homes.
That's right. Tech Writer said, Jim, can you read that, bud?
Yeah, I used the carbon fiber mats with the LP12. I also like the old ring mats with the LP12 as well.
There you go. A couple of suggestions for you there, buddy. Hi, evening team.
Evening, Andrew.
Okay, and here's now, Murray, I think you're new, Murray. If you're not, welcome back. But if you are new, a very warm welcome to you. Scott, can you see that question?
Sure. I don't know if you gentlemen are taking questions, but if you are, do you have any thoughts on the U.S. Angel Records label? Are they as bad as the community commonly claims?
Generally.
If there's a choice, go for the EMI. They are just pressed better. They're from a better tape. I assume the American ones are from copy tapes. And they just don't sound as good. The performances are great. I have a bunch of Angels. I like the jackets. I like the early ones with the embossed stereo and the matte jackets. So, some of the records I have on Angel would cost me $300-400 in their EMI counterpart. So I wouldn't pass them up, but if you're going for sound quality and you have the money, the EMI would be better.
Yeah.
A lot of comments about Angel and negative comments. I concur with my friend Scott. I don't like Angels. Although the esoteric I'm getting of the Fourier Requiem is originally an Angel. So we'll see what happens. The cover is just like to die for. I support US Angel in that the label brings to the masses great performance despite the lower sound quality. Absolute Tech Writer. Yeah,
that's right.
If you can afford, it's still going to sound good.
Didn't a lot of those appear on Testament?
Yes,
mainly in Europe.
Well, yeah, but they're using the EMI tapes, bud, at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the problem with Angel is they got the tape second and third hand, and who knows? And then the pressing plants, and they just didn't care. It's like
No.
It's a good question from Murray as well. Scott, can you look at that one because you'll know the answer for sure.
Do you see a notable difference in the different Angel labels? For example, the red versus the blue versus the tan black. Thanks. The red, to my knowledge, are actually European pressings, UK pressings. I would check the label on those. Those are the earliest ones. The blue ones are what we mostly see here. There is also a blue with a black circle that I think designates tapes that came from the SAX series. I have a lot of those on Angel too. As far as the tan label and later, I think the vinyl got better, but it's hit or miss.
Okay, and let me just, before our guest comes on, next week, it's Robert Wynn. He's principal flute of the RPO and professor at Hochschule of Music. Then Paul Sheeman, and then after that, we've got a little break from guests, and then we have got some really good guests coming up. That's Robert, principal flute of the RPO. It's a really wonderful character. I think you'll really like that. Oh, now a little advertisement. I got when I purchased the Aikida, and if you were on the show last week, Angie was going to be sending me some cartridges. So I'm going to do a video, Audiophilia's favorite luxury Japanese moving coil phono cartridges. And my last cartridge video got almost 40,000 views. So hopefully we'll get some views on that. And I can tell you the Aikida, I'm reviewing it. It's magnificent. Different than the Phase Mission. Better, I would say better, but not, And then, of course, there's that Analog Relax at 16,000. and the airtight, which is only 10,000. That whole thing.
How many cartridges do you own, Anthony?
What's that, buddy? Sorry.
Cartridges do you own?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, I'm getting the Aikido distributor called me and said, "So Anthony, since you're having so much fun with the Kai, and thank you for buying it, it's still expensive, even a combination price." He says, "I'm going to send you the Aikido Mono." I said, "I'm not buying it. My wife is amazing, but there is a." And so this has been ordered. Jack's got that. He's going to show that in a minute. Jack's got that.
Beautiful jacket.
And I've got a couple of pieces of information about some equipment, and then I'm going to show you a couple of records. These are from Electric Kompaniet, which is a Norwegian company. It's kind of disappeared for the last little while. And we're going to be doing 2 reviews. I'm doing the MKV reference CD player. Red book only, no SACD. There's a patent here, right? There's a patent here. So there's that. Yes, there is a patent here and we'll get, when I review it, we'll get into it. But Carl's also doesn't do SACD, neither does mine. So, and then Carl's going to be doing ECM Mark II high-end DAC and streamer. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Okay, so that's coming up. Now, Frederick said he has to leave early tonight. We're going to miss you, Frederick. From Mozart Thun, I have Cell Cleveland, Davis Dresden, 2 wonderful choices. We'll come back to you for that. Now, I've got a couple of records to show. Sky, are you paying attention? This is directly towards you. You naughty boy. Okay, so the first thing is I did, when Sky was talking about it, I did purchase that one for review. And the reviews up at Audiophilia, I loved it. It sounds wonderful. I only streamed the original. I don't have the original like Sky. I did mention you Sky in the review, and you may have read it already. But it's got all the information, and it was recorded at the Hercules Hall in Munich, which is a really lovely hall. Little small for orchestras of the Bavarian Radio Symphony play there, but it's very, very good. And the great Pellini, it is magnificent. Please read my review. I wrote it in about a half an hour. I was so inspired by this recording. So if you can do that, that'd be great. Now, this is especially for Sky. So I was listening to Sky talk about Beethoven. And where did I put that? Oh, here it is. And then I got those Beethoven piano concertos, the Kempf that he recommended. It was fantastic. They're amazing. But then I was looking for audiophile channels, and I don't watch them because they drive me nuts. I don't like them, many of them. And I saw this Japanese one. I've been really enjoying the Japanese culture and watching Japandi style and things. And there was these 2 ladies, and they were giggling about audio, and it was lovely, very charming. And there wasn't even any subtitles, but they put on this recording of the Spring Sonata. It's beautiful. Jim, you probably played it when you were in grade 10 or something. And also the Kreutzer, which is a fantastic sonata. And I've got a few recordings of them. But these recordings, these were beautiful. There's a cover that I've never seen before. That's the cover. So there were two copies, that's it, in the world that I could find. Both on eBay. I bought them both. Wink, wink. I bought them both. One is a Dutch pressing, and one is the English pressing. So guess which one you're getting, Sky? It's like Jack gets the Dutch version of the Nielsen 5. But this is CBS France stereo mono. I don't know what that means. It's stereo. The piano player is George Heim. He's fantastic and recorded like one of the best piano recordings I've ever heard. But my interest was the soloist, Herman Oehler. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Jim, do you know how to pronounce that? The OEH with the OE together in German?
Yeah, I think it is Herman Oehler, isn't it?
Oehler, that's, yeah. Herman Oehler. Ladies and gentlemen of the Peanut Gallery, and anybody watching the show after it's been recorded, if you can find anything about this guy, you're going to get a Cupid doll. I'm telling you, I've looked everywhere. There is nothing, and I mean nothing about this guy. So, but he's wonderful. Is he Perlman? No, he's not Perlman. But he's very musical. lovely tone, and it's recorded beautifully. Is the label CBC? So there's two. So Sky, send me your email address, please. And so I think that's it for that. That's it. And okay, so I haven't. Oh, there's Oswaldo. So it's 5:24. Let's bring Oswaldo up. Hey, Oswaldo, how are
Hello,
you?
how are you? Good evening, gentlemen.
You're on.
I'm on. I'm
the
honored.
the Miami contingent, Miami in the house.
Yes,
Yes. Hi. How are you, Ozzy?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Invitation.
Just Postal Playboy asked, "What's the catalog number?" It's very smart. Let's see what it is. S51111. So it's S51111, and it's a CBS France. So which is but it's much better than the regular CBS. Anyway, sorry, Oswaldo. Some questions. So,
Okay.
Oswaldo, have you met Scott from the Pressing Matters?
I believe I have. Yes.
I'll leave it to Scott. So, Scott, introduce your friend and
Okay.
what to talk to him.
Well, I guess it was about almost 2 years ago. Someone reached out to me on one of my videos, offering some help. It was a video where I was having issues with a new cartridge and I wasn't sure it was set up right, having issues with loading and stuff. And it was Oswaldo. And I was like, he was so kind and so generous, offering his help. He lives not far from me. And I accepted his offer. So we've become friends and collaborators, and he's really helped me to grow my system. So we're going to talk to Oswaldo about where he got into audio and a little bit about how he helped me out, some different things about the industry. He's going to show some equipment and maybe talk about a personal passion project that he's involved with. So I'll leave that to Oswaldo. You want to introduce yourself and where you came from?
Of course, of course. Well, thanks for having me over. I really appreciate it. Well, like probably most of you, I've always had an interest in music since a very early age. And I've been blessed that I grew up in a family. I grew up in South America. I was born in Venezuela. And I was born into a family where my father was very much into the gear, into the music. So I can definitely trace my roots back to those experiences at home, going through his classical record collections, the Reader's Digest, and a bunch of other great music. And so that's where it got me going. My passion for music has been since very early age. And then we moved to the United States of America back in 1979 as a 13-year-old. And that passion continued, of course. And by then, of course, my father was instrumental in allowing me to kind of foster that love for music. And, I got into buying some incredible systems, but, from the normal stores, right? Box stores, if you will. And then about in the mid 80s, already as a teenager, I discovered Stereophone magazine, The Absolute Sound. And little by little, started realizing there's a whole other world outside of, the names that we were used to, right? And that really piqued my interest. And then slowly I started to make the rounds to the local stores. And that's when I discovered tube gear. I discovered the higher end turntables, high end speakers. And that was it. I was hooked. So as soon as I could basically raise the funds, I actually found a family friend who was very interested in my complete Yamaha system. It was a beautiful system. It was top of the line for 1979, 1980. It was incredible. Even up to this day, I'd say it's really great classic stuff. And he purchased the whole system, and that was the beginning. I had money to spend, so I started buying my entry-level system. I went right to a Soda Sapphire turntable with a Sunico FT3 tone arm, AudioQuest 404B cartridge. The preamp was a Milos GK1. So, I mean, it was actually very nice gear for a kid, The speakers, JSE, Infinite Slope, Model 1s. What else? I did not have a CD player. I did not like CDs, man. I tell you, that's one thing with me. all my friends who used to sell me the stuff at the stores, they used to tell me, man, you're into vinyl, but you really have to pay attention to compact disc. And I bought one. And my friend's jaw hit the ground when a week later I went back and said, I demanded my money. I said, this is horrible. This is garbage. What are you talking about?
That's right.
Truth is, probably the masterings, the early ones weren't that great. But anyway, it is what it is.
They are better now, as you know. But
Oh my gosh. I'm not anti-digital, by the way. I sell incredible digital. But my passion lays with analog. Tape, turntables, that's what I do.
we can see. Look at that stuff.
Yeah, the heavy artillery. The big VPI. I've got an HW40 direct drive, Studer tape deck, a Tascam in the back. Anyway, all kinds of good stuff around here.
It's always fun to visit.
Yeah.
So did you put your passion into actually starting a brick and mortar store at some point?
Well, I entered the industry officially in 1989. So I started working for a local retailer. I was there for a while. Then I got married and we relocated. And so I stepped away part-time from that industry for some years. But I always had my foot in it. I was always invited to come back and be part of at that store. So, I was also an audio consultant in the new city that I was living in. And then when I relocated back to South Florida in 2000, I worked for 2 years for other stores, back to my original store, my ex-boss. And I only lasted there about a year because he had changed and he was really into the home theater, which is not my thing. And then I went and worked somewhere else for about another year. And that's when I realized, you know what? Nothing against what they're doing. I just have a different vision for myself. I'm more of a boutique, a smaller, more kind of laser focused on 2-channel, And that's when I decided in 2005 to start my company, Let There Be Sound. And I did start with a proper brick and mortar, beautiful showroom I had. And I had that for about 5-6 years. And then I had to rethink everything because that was at the time that after my lease ran out after 5 years, they were pushing me to resign the lease. And that's when the market crashed. It was 2009, 2010. Yeah. And I really had to think about that. And I made the decision. It was scary, but I made the decision that if I was to survive in this industry, I could not have that hanging over the head, having that, $7,000 monthly going out, whether I make a sale or not. Right. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to step back. I'm going to move out of the store. I kept the business. And basically, I kind of turned it into a home-based kind of business, which actually I did not expect that it would necessarily remain that way for so many years after the fact. But I've come to really appreciate the positives of being a lot more focused on the customer, focused on their needs. People love it that when they come to my place and audition what they're interested in, I immediately say, you know what? It's good that you like it here, but I need to bring it to your home. And to me, that's instrumental.
The old take it home and give it a try, because it never comes back.
Listen, even with customers that reach out to me from across state lines, if they don't have a dealer for a particular something or other, it's not. I've shipped stuff out all the time, and usually stays. They so appreciate it, and it's good stuff anyway, right? So 9 times out of 10, they've never heard of that. Gee, not even my local dealer is willing to lend it out for the weekend. I'm like, to me, that's just ridiculous. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous. That's not more commonplace,
Right. Yeah, that took me by surprise when I met you, is that you were so ready to lend me things for audition over 2 weeks. Yeah, he would be like, how's this sound? I'm like, I need a little more time. He gave me the time. And each one of those things turned into a sale. I mean, he has a rotating inventory of used equipment. The people that he deals with, they trade up to something else. Yeah. I've never been to his warehouse, but I heard it's like,
oh man, that's a whole show in itself.
I heard about that.
That's a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
That's where I keep my personal collection, my vinyl collection. I haven't counted lately, but it's got to be over 11,000 records in that warehouse.
Whoa.
A lot of great stuff there. Absolutely. And all the gear, personal things I collect, vintage, and things that people trade me in. There's only so much I can fit here, so I often have to make trips to the warehouse and get what I need to demo or show somebody, and then I lend it out.
Yeah.
To me, that's essential because, and by the way, I have a much greater success rate selling out of my residence because here I don't have necessarily a treated room or the perfect, dedicated room. And when people sit here and they listen to the system, they're like in awe, like, my God, it's possible to have really decent sounding sound in not a studio type scenario. It's just regular living room or family room. And they appreciate that. I had a lot of pushback when I had my beautiful store and I had the perfect sounding, reference room. They would always wonder, well, but how would it sound in my home? Here's like perfect. And they had a point. And that's when I started, of course, bringing stuff to their homes anyhow. But I haven't found it that it's been an issue at all. People appreciate the fact that I will go to their homes and offer that concierge kind of service, I like it.
Rare.
I also like to hear it in their homes because you know what? I too need to be convinced that it sounds the part because I feel like I'm building a system, creating a sound for them, right? My sound, the type of sound I like, right? So because I know they like my sound when they come over, and then we're trying to duplicate something very close to that in their homes. So I have to be there as well, and I want to ensure that it's going to sound the part. Sometimes I say, look, this is not sounding like we heard, right? So I'm not going to make that sale. We're going to find something else for you. It's just the way it is.
Right.
How's the power in Miami? I know there's a lot of thunderstorms and things like that. So how's the power just when you're kind of auditioning a lovely thing and it's early in the morning and it's like, man, the sound. Do you use a special power conditioner?
Yeah, I mean, I represent Chang Lightspeed, Isotech products, so I am protected from, but if there's a bad blackout, I'm pretty sure my gear will survive that. It's not so bad. I'm actually about a half hour north of Miami. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Weston to be exact. But still, the whole area is when there's in the summer, especially with the thunderstorms, it's horrible. Scott, and then you know when it's time to turn it all off. You don't want to make any changes.
How far are you from Oswaldo, Scott?
What's that?
How far are you from Oswaldo?
It's about a 35-minute drive.
35 minutes, 25 on a good day without traffic. Yeah. Not that far off. Yeah.
It's not far.
No.
I've been over a few times. The first time was when I had my audio research preamp and I had my new cartridge and the loading wasn't correct. And if you know those older audio research preamps, you have to solder in the resistor that you need.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I was like,
that's something
no.
Yeah. That is something that was not addressed by the dealer who sold on the cartridge. And when I quizzed him about it, he goes, let's look it up in the manual. And it was clear that the preamp was not set up optimally for the cartridge. And that's probably one of the first times you came to visit me, right?
Yes.
Well, I think you came the first time with the turntable when you had the issues with the cartridge.
Right.
And I helped you set up the turntable. We found that that was not as exact as we would like. And then that sounded better. But when you still had more problems with it, then we went and attacked the preamp. Right. You brought it over. We have pictures. I think you did a show on that. And we soldered in the correct resistors. And things got better after that. Absolutely.
Things got better.
Yeah.
And then he lent me a little unit called Ray Samuel's Nighthawk that was a phono preamp that did loading and gain on the fly.
Yeah, and it's
bad. I also heard his mod right at his house, and I was like,
do you represent mod right, Oswaldo?
I am a mod right authorized mod right dealer.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Dan's a good guy. I reviewed that. The one that Scott has is very good, and it's very nice.
I love it. That's my go-to phono stage. Anyone wanting to spend between $3,000 and $5,000 or $6,000, that's my go-to. I say, look, you can keep it in stock format 3500. You'll have a beautiful sound, and you can upgrade it up to about $5,000. Fantastic. You have to spend twice as much to get better, basically. In my view.
Yeah, that was like a cornerstone purchase for me.
Yeah.
And then we went through the rest of the system. I had trouble with the Odyssey preamp. He had got in this all too Kayan amp that was affordable, and
Yeah.
everything that he did for me was like affordable. It was a used piece that he got, and so I got that in there. And then came the speakers.
Yeah.
He's a system audio dealer, and these speakers took my breath away when he unboxed them. I could not believe how beautiful they were. I looked at his, I saw the website and everything. I think this was a unique design in their thing. It's just
sadly
it's
they don't make
elegant
that anymore, but I adore that model. I think it's beautiful.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
you've heard him here. Oswaldo set him up, and he's heard him here. Ozzy, tell him what the sound is like here now.
Guys, it's actually almost scary because he's also does not have a dedicated room, and the sound. And Scott and I have been to the Florida Audio Fest 2 years in a row, and there we get a chance to audition very expensive systems. Of course, we know that we're at a trade show, not always ideal situation. But I've also been to many an audiophile home. A lot of my local clients have ultra expensive systems. I'm talking $100,000, $200,000. And I remember one day I was at a local person's, place, and he played his system. And I remember distinctly calling Scott later that day, or we were maybe talking about something else. And I said, Scott, you won't believe this, man. Your system, the one you have right now, completely blows out of the water. The system I was listening to, the amps are like 80 grand for the set. The speakers are 125. I'm talking a big system. It was a little embarrassing. Of course, I don't tell somebody, hey, I'm not really digging this, but I was so proud of Scott's system because his system is well beyond what you might think. It really is incredible.
Scott, there's a couple of questions for Oswaldo. The first one from Sky.
Oh, I can't read them.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, please.
Sky says, just did Anthony. He sent him his email. Oswaldo, what brands do you carry? When are you going to send some high-end cartridges to Scott to review?
I'm afraid Scott is not a member of the Audiophile board.
He's got the lead to the cartridges already. My main brands. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying Scott would be amazing. Maybe I better hire him.
You know what I have? I have a great collection of vintage cartridges. I collect cartridges. I have over 50 cartridges. So whenever you want to do an episode on vintage cartridges, let me know.
Oh, okay. We're on for sure.
Anthony, are there direct flights from?
I don't know. I love Fort Lauderdale, though, man. I love it.
Yeah. Main brands for me would be basically, of course, being that in a smaller situation, I cannot afford to have 50 brands. It's impossible to sustain that. So I dial in on the ones that I'm really passionate about. For loudspeakers, I currently carry 2 brands. It is System Audio. My chief brand is System Audio. To this date, believe it or not, I'm the only dealer in the US for this brand, System Audio from Denmark. It's unbelievable. I think I'm still listed as the only dealer on their website. They don't now, just to be fair, they do not have US representation. So I'm almost like factory direct with them. Like I have to import them and all that business. So it's not like I'm buying them from a distributor here in the States. So it's a little more cumbersome, but I put up with it because I've not found anything that sings to my heart as much. The other loudspeaker brand is a beautiful company, actually from Canada. It's Gershman Acoustics. You might know them.
I know.
Eli
Offer. I know Offer. Really
Offer. Wonderful people.
They were 35 years ago when I first got in the business. They were this kind of pyramidal speaker.
They're wonderful people. I originally met them about 4 years ago when we were part of a BP. We were at the BPI house in New Jersey doing dealer training.
Oh, that's a fun
and
house.
We met, and that's also where I met them, right? Actually, so I made those connections there, and we all got along so well. They said, "Hey, how come you don't carry
all great
stuff along?" And I'll check it out. So I became dealers for Gershman and Sound System Audio. My main brands for electronics would be Modrite at this time. Of course, I was a Prima Luna dealer up to a few months ago, but no longer, sadly. But I also carry Cayenne products. And I would say Modrite. I'm pretty dialed in on Modrite. I do have access to other things. I can get Name. I can get Premier from Sweden. It's beautiful.
That's lovely stuff. Yeah.
Really very smooth for solid state. Fantastic. But I prefer tube gear. So that's typically what I do. VPI, of course, I'm a big VPI dealer. I also sell many different lines of cartridges. I can carry Airtight, Koetsu until the time they were around. Face Nation, by the way. Angie, right? Face Nation.
Angie said to me,
Anthony, I just brought in the Face Nation EA 1200. They're 3-piece, second from the top of the line phono stage. I haven't even unboxed it yet.
Yeah,
because
you're never going to let it go, says Angie.
Well, I've already sold it. I sold my floor model. I sold one, and I missed it so much that I had to repurchase it. So
Scott,
I have
did
it
you
here.
buy a Face Nation $50,000 phono stage?
That's the top of the line. I have the one right below it, the one that's about 18K.
Scott, you didn't buy one?
Oh, he didn't buy one.
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, yeah. Scott, there's another question for Oswaldo. Did you see it?
Okay, from Tech Writer. How much do you emphasize vibration isolation for turntables in terms of feet or platform? I see that you have wood, maple platform on both in the background.
Yeah, these were custom made for me. They're about 4-inch, very massive, and they internally have some dampening materials layered in there. BPI turntables mostly they're not suspended. So it is a bit important to have a solid foundation. So I'm not against having, people like to use the isoacoustics under their platforms or directly under their turntables. I'm all for that, honestly. You do want isolation for sure. Yeah. I like vibra pods. Sometimes a cost-effective way to do this is to get a butcher block and then line the surface with a bunch of vibra pods, and there you go, an instant suspension.
Yeah,
that works well. And I do like the sound of maple. I think it adds a very nice organic sound to the analog.
The turntable you have there, the H, is it the 45?
That's
the
big one.
No, the one next to it, the black one. No, the one.
This one is the Avenger reference.
Yeah, but the one next to it.
This is the HW40. It is their direct drive turntable.
That's what Carl Sigmund has for his reference.
That's a beautiful table. As a side note, I actually have the very same Fat Boy tone arm. Of course, on the Avenger, I have a unit pivot system, and I have like 6 different tone arms. So it's very simple for me to have 6 different cartridges already armed in each of the tone arms, and in like 10 seconds flat, I can let you listen to a Face Nation versus a Koetsu. It takes no time. And I purposely bought 2 Koetsu blacks some years ago so that I can have a Koetsu black on the HW40, that's a gimbal tone arm, and a Koetsu black on the Avenger reference, so that we can compare the same cartridge, same arm, going through the same phono, and comparing now technologies, right? A rim drive versus a direct drive. It's interesting.
I realize the 12-inch tone arms do make a difference. They really do. I'm loving the 12-inch that I've got now. And the it looks like I might be able to review an Aikida 12-inch tone arm that Aikida. Yeah, they're legendary tone arms. Will
you be able to retrofit that 12-inch tone arm on the current table you're using?
Well, John's working on that now.
Okay.
Yeah, John's working. Good. But the turntable is only shipping next month, so we've got one tape. His tone arm? His tone arm is very good, by the way. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, what else did I want to? Oh, I wanted to ask you. What about? You still have the Metaxas there?
I do have the Metaxas. I'm not sure if I can do this. I guess I can do it. There it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at that.
Now that's a special edition Metaxas. This is what we call the Two Real Founders edition. And it is basically a turbocharged version of the Metaxas. Next to it, I have a client's SME 20.2 that I'm selling for him. But this thing is absolutely by far and away the finest source that I've ever heard. I mean, it even outperforms my Studer A807, which is a big, tall odor.
Wow.
What is that called? Metaxas?
The Metaxas and Sins, that's the Tourbillon, is the model number. I have it featured quite often on my YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to kind of see it in action and hear it, I welcome them to go to Let There Be Sound's YouTube channel, and you'll see a lot of this great toys playing live music.
In the last 5 minutes as well, any chance, are you able to move around and show us a little bit of your equipment?
Should I flip the camera or?
Yeah, do whatever whatever. Yeah, you can just flip. You can flip the camera if you want.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get up and let me flip the camera first. Hold on. Let me flip the camera. I have to go into, and I probably have to crank up the light because it's a little. I apologize. Front
That's
camera.
okay. Take your time.
Yeah.
Let
me take it off here. All right. Let's see. Let me do the. Let's see. Back camera.
There we go. Oh yeah.
All righty. So let me crank up the light. Oh, sorry, wrong light. There you go.
That's good.
All right.
Oh, look at the mod right stuff. It's gorgeous, eh?
Yes. Yeah. Let me see. So here we have. Well, here's my Studer.
Oh yeah.
That's the Studer A807.
Oh,
sorry, I'm being thrown off because I have the mirror thing on, so I'm like seeing things in inverse. Here's another Metaxas.
Wow.
This is the standard edition Metaxas. Of course, records all over the place. That's my Prima Luna amplifier, soon to be replaced by a Motride KWA 150 SE. Here's my rack where I have then my other Pro unit, the Tascam BR20, and I also do cassettes. My trusty Nakamichi 680CX. Here we have a PH9 Motride, and here's my beloved Avenger reference, currently sporting a Mysonic Lab Signature Gold.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful, beautiful sounding cartridge. And farther down on the second rack, on the spider rack, we have, that's my digital playback machine. That is Esforzato from Japan. It's a boutique company. I found them, and there are not that many dealers around, and it's the best digital I've personally heard. And here's my brand new LS100 Motride line stage. Here is the HW40 direct drive.
What's that silver? What's that little thing on the turntable?
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
That's actually a company from Canada. Have you heard of Integrity Hi-Fi?
No.
They're the folks that make the automatic end of record lifter. It's called the True Lift. So that's this guy over here.
Does the True Lift work well?
They also make the True Sweep, right? And then this guy is basically, they call it the True Clean. And it's basically rotating. You have Blue Tack on this little pad, and you have Mr. Clean on this pad. So the idea there is that you basically dip the cartridge on both to clean your stylus.
How do you find the True Lift work? Because I just had the Audio Technica and it was not good.
It's actually, yeah, I love it. I sell it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's very reliable. So here's that Metaxas, a special edition. Farther down the line, we have an SME. Here's a Face Nation. Oh, so what's happening here? Oh, by the way, I'm a Vandenhole dealer. This is the second best sounding phono stage I've ever heard. That's the brand new Vandenhole the Grail version or Mark III. It is out of this world. It's solid state. So I think that Face Nation EA 1200 is even better, as it should be, for 18 grand. But this is scary sounding. For solid state, unbelievable. Here I have some Crown reel-to-reel machines, two of them. I have a quarter track and a half track. Here you see some of my master tapes from Chad, Acoustic Sounds, Witch's Brew. I have the folk singer. Here are some of the extra tone arms, right?
Whoa, look at those.
These are the 12-inch. I think I have a couple of Grados on two of them and a Soundsmith on another. Oh, by the way, hold on. Vintage cards. Hello.
Oh, wow.
I remember that show.
Vintage cards.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And that's about a third of my collection. Most of them are in the warehouse. So, yeah. And as you can expect, records everywhere. My home is, I have a very forgiving wife. Let me just put it that way.
We all do.
We all do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even in the hallway, I've got a Tech DAS turntable over there.
Tech DAS, oh my God. Your Tech DAS is in the backup turntable, my God.
Yeah, here it is. The Tech DAS turntable, sitting there, looking for a home. here is the Gershwin speaker.
Oh, they're beautiful, good.
Oh, they are fantastic. I'm pretty fanatical about keeping dust away from things, so I keep them covered. These are fantastic. Anyway.
How much are they, Oswaldo?
These guys, you know, these have actually gone up since I bought them. I think these guys are in the, I want to say 12.5 range for these guys, because these have the built-in stands, right? They make a version like this that don't have the stands and they're not as good. But yeah, and these are my system audio speakers.
Oh, like
I have to move the other one out of the way so I can make room for myself in the chair over there. Anyway, so that's kind of
fabulous.
the gist.
Fabulous.
And a bunch of other stuff at the warehouse, you can imagine. So here's my Isotech. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, this was a big improvement to my digital. Adding these products from Nordos. I'm a Nordos dealer.
Oh, I just reviewed that. That's fantastic.
Q source, power supply, and that QNet really brought that digital
it's amazing
to the next level.
Yeah, we reviewed that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Really, really great. So anyway, now let me switch this around, I guess. Sorry.
That was awesome.
I just got one. When you sit down, I got one more question for you. We've got a lot of comments.
Cool. Let me switch the camera first.
That's okay.
Front camera.
He has a great setup. Wow, gear envy. Wicked Exile has this one. Scott, you want to run that over by Oswaldo?
Have you followed Wally Tracker's work on stylus mounting angles measured on cartridges? How does that impact your view of VTA adjustment on this new data?
I have not followed up on that too much. I may in the future. I basically have been doing this for 40 plus years, setting up turntables. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, I've always nailed my setups. They sound incredible. I have all the tools you could imagine, but I have not spent the time to, you know, I have some of the Wally tools, but not all of them. So that's about it.
Well, Oswaldo,
I use my ears. That's the best tool, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I set up the turntable. I do VTA. I do azimuth. I do all that. First visual, and then ultimately it's the ear. You put your Churchill test records on, and if they're not stored in that inner third, you've nailed it. You've nailed it. You know, and then you work with your VTA. You make sure that you have that beautiful large soundstage that we're looking for. So,
Oswaldo, what a wonderful guest you've been tonight. Jim, do you have a question? Because we're just saying goodbye to Oswaldo. I'm just wondering. Well,
no
you
problem.
know,
it's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oswaldo, first of all,
Thank you.
Would you please come on again?
Anytime you're willing to have me, I'll be happy to be here.
And we can talk vintage cartridges.
Please.
And you know, well, first of all,
I've got a question.
Even vintage turntables. I have over 18 turntables in the warehouse.
Well, yeah, you have to bring them in. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, Oswaldo, I've got a question for you. Okay, tell me, and I'm sure there's other people interested. What are the best long-playing records to actually play on your turntables? Do you notice a difference in sound between, say, 1950s thicker, shellacky ones to the more flimsy ones of the 70s? What's your ideal LP that you would use to demonstrate the maximum of your turntables?
Well, I have such a massive collection. I have to be honest. I let the sound win out. I've heard albums that were actually thin, Dynaflex, that were actually incredible. So are you looking for a period? And are we also specifically talking about mostly classical? Because it's like classical.
Well, classical, you know, lounge, whatever. But I mean, which LPs sound the best, really? You know, are the older, more the thicker LPs? Do they give you a better grounding for sound?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I'd say the average size LP, 150, 160. I'm okay with that. Some of the best sounding albums in my collection are actually originals from the 70s and 80s, and they were at what best 140, 160 grams.
That's right.
So I would say there's probably not as specific? Because I've heard plenty of 200 grams that were horrible. So I mean, how do you make sense of that, right? They should be better, maybe, but I'm not convinced it is.
I think it's
judge
all,
each album
it's all in
individually.
the mastering, and
It's all about the mastering, big time.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, man.
And as Scott
Absolutely.
says, the pressing matters. So it
Yeah.
made in England. Anyway,
Oswaldo.
Oswaldo, thank you so much for tonight. And Scott for leading the interview.
Thank
And boy, you got a beautiful setup there, beautiful
Thank
home.
you.
And
Thank you very much.
we'll get you organized again to come on. We'll do some vintage cartridges, some vintage.
Okay, I would love it. I'll grab
Anyways.
some vintage gear and bring it over.
Thank you so much, Oswaldo. Stay safe in Florida, and it's
Thank
great to
you.
see you. Thank you
We'll
so
talk to you
much.
soon,
Bye-bye.
Oswaldo.
All the
Thank
very
you.
best.
Thank you, Oswaldo. Thank you.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh my
He's a
goodness.
cool guy, right?
Very, very.
Scott, you better start buying lottery tickets.
Yeah.
They're-
Well, buying used is great for the budget conscious. That's all I can say.
I've just put the link up, so if anybody wants to come up, you're very welcome. Okay, we're going to show some records now. Again, thank you, Oswaldo. We'll have you on again. Sorry, I know it turned off. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to start with Scott, and then we're going to go to Jim, and then we're going to go to Jack. Okay, let me just get Scott large, and then we'll do building a library if we have.
Anthony, one of Jim and Scott, Jim and Scott are the record mavens here. One of you
got some stuff to show us. Well, no.
Get me out of the way first. Leave these guys to rest.
No, you're on as well. You're a valued member of the team. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
I don't have that much today.
Don't show
So this was the Mozart.
don't show the Mozart yet.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, when we do the building and library.
Oh, okay. So I found this old ace of clubs in my vault. I remember grabbing it because just, it's unusual to see a deck of ace of clubs here. It's beautiful. It's unplayed. I've heard it a couple of times. Nice. And I'm just going to show a couple. I'm doing my resleeving project, and I am doing all the classic records, RCAs and stuff like that. So there was a few that were not done by Analog Productions. So
that's a great recording.
this is one of the ones you can only get the reissue on Classic. That's a good one. This one's fabulous too. Byron Janis.
Beautiful.
Lovely. And you know what? Sometimes these got a bad rap, but they're really not that bad.
The original's better.
Yeah, on this one, yeah. The original.
That's mono, right, Scott?
No, the stereo. I have the originals of it, but that one in particular, most people like the original better.
I've got the original of that. It's incredible.
This one, yeah, me too. Me too. It's just, I don't know. I wish Chad would do more titles, but
it's not going to happen.
Michael Hobson did all these. It was a real gift.
It was a gift to the world.
Yeah,
his classic records.
And there's more. I mean, you've seen these a million times, but
I got after your video, I bought that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, Sibelius. So these are all getting resleeved, and wow, I spent a lot of money on Classic when they came. I got all the 45 too, and I just want to show one other thing. This was put out by Cisco. You guys know this? The Heifetz Piatigorsky?
No.
Yeah.
Here, let me unwrap it here. Cisco did a small amount of living stereo titles. This was originally a Soria series release, the Brahms Concerto. And it's really beautiful. It has a booklet in it, I believe. Yeah. That.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of a reproduction of the original Skira art pressing. So these were limited editions.
Jeremy said the Montreux Dvorak 7 is wonderful. And
Yeah.
Robert said, has anyone heard the Fiedler Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue or have opinions? Do you have that one?
Oh yeah, I have originals of that. I have the Chesky. I've never done a review of all of them. I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the greatest sounding Shaded Dog, but you know, okay. Earl Wild is great.
Fabulous. Okay, Jim, you're up.
Okay, well, I came across these this week, which is really interesting. Virtually brand new. HMV Concert Classics.
Oh, that's a great record.
French. Now it's interesting because they're these, the purple label. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
But and also, I came across this Beecham Frank D minor, which I never knew he recorded, and it's in stereo as well, which is interesting.
It's very good recording.
I think, and again, it's the same era. It's the same, and I don't think this record has been played because it is completely clean.
99p.
99p.
Are you kidding, Jim?
No, I'm not. 99p. I found everything. Now, the other thing that was interesting, I came across. I've got a couple of lyrics, and yeah, this one, which is quite interesting, is an Adrian Bolt on LP.
EMI, beautiful.
Again, it's an original. Again, it's in virtually flawless condition. I don't think it's been played very much.
Oh, the stamp. This is beautiful. Was that 99p?
Yeah, they're all 99p.
Yeah. You got some good ones this week, Jim.
Raw
He threw down, Scott. He threw down.
Lurita,
Alan Ross.
So number one. London Phil, John Pritchard.
That wasn't 99p, was it?
No, I think that was 49p. I bought it.
Oh my god!
And it was even cheaper. And there you go. There's the label on it. So,
wow.
This is one for you, Sky. The Hungarian quartet playing Beethoven-led quartets on the EMI.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
mono, right?
Again, this is the different coloured label. This is the maroony one.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's beautiful.
And again,
collection tonight, man.
I don't think it's ever been played, to be honest with you. But the last one is this Alexander Scriabin on Melodia. It's our old friend Mr. Svetlanov.
Oh yeah.
And it's Poem of Ecstasy, Line of the Dead, and I think that's it. Yeah, Poem of Ecstasy and Isle of the Dead and something else. I don't know. But it's a Melodia. I don't know what these are like. I haven't actually played it yet. But again, it looks virtually brand new to me.
Jim, you're getting a hell of a collection.
And then finally, okay.
Columbia Mono.
A Columbia Mono Chalice in
That
Paris.
was 99p.
Again, it's got the full. But again, I do not think this has ever been played.
Look at that label. I love that label. Jim, that wasn't 99 pence, was it?
It was.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know what these go for on Discogs and things. Maybe a lot more.
A lot more.
Everyone's like, Postal Playboy's like 99p and growling.
Well,
Jim, you're gonna have people following you around London looking for the charity shop.
Yeah.
Is that it, Jim?
I think that's it. I mean, I've got a couple of others. I mean, there's this one which I loved. I love this piece, Moore and G minor symphony.
Oh yeah,
Neville Dose, but it's a green sleeve one, which is
good, really good pressings.
Again, virtually brand new. I don't think it's ever been played.
You're getting a hell of a collection, man.
I am.
You couldn't find those in Montreal at that price.
So yeah, that's about it. I think. Is there anything else that's
Okay, we got Jack on. Okay, Jack.
Yeah. You know, I don't think it's out yet, but I listened to a new recording. It's on stream. It's on Cubos. Dvorak 6 and 7 by the Czech Symphony. It's a green cover with a bunch of trees. It is amazing. It sounds great. Musically, it's. I looked for it. I couldn't find it out on Amazon or anywhere yet. I don't think it's been released, but it's real good. So I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but I finally had time to listen to the whole thing.
Oh, Jim's reviewed that.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
amazing. And you can find these in bits and pieces, but this is the complete set in one box.
Beautiful box. Jim loved it.
It is. It's a very good.
It's
very good box.
amazing. It's amazing. It's amazingly good. And the other thing I found this week for this was $3, Jim,
Oh,
not 99p, but
Ah,
a really, really good version of the 5.
yeah.
So Anthony showed this before. I did get this. This was sitting.
oh yeah, there
I
we go.
got home the other day, and again, it's the same inside sleeve, with all the information. I won't take it out. They all look the same.
I love that cover. I love that cover.
Yeah, the cover is just amazing. The vinyl is very quiet. It's just like all the new stuff. It's just great. The sound, I have quite a few of the other reissues that have been out, and this one just for some reason doesn't have the same sound. And maybe it's just the nature of the music. What was interesting to me is that we all know the suite, the first suite, but the second suite, I don't think it's played enough, and I think it's better than the first. I really do. But for some reason, and I'd be curious to know, Anthony, when you get to listen to it, or anybody else.
I'm going to review it straight away. Yeah, I can't wait.
Like I said before we came on, I don't know, maybe Von Karajan got carried away and it just couldn't be redone. I don't know. It just isn't. It isn't some of the other. To me, it isn't as good as some of the others. Sound-wise, musically, it's great. Yeah,
Fabulous. Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
Hey, Danny. Hey, Sky. How are you?
Oh, very good. How are you?
How y'all doing?
It's good to see you. So,
Hey,
I finally got a chance to meet the great Scott from the Pressing Matters.
yeah.
This has been a great it's made my night meeting him. He was the one that got me started on this. Yeah, I just got this I got this today.
Danny's ready to throw down. Hang on, Danny. Let me get you.
good for you.
I just got this today, and then I got this one Sunday from
that's good. That's beautiful.
Acoustic Sound.
Danny, this is an entry-level drug record. Now, we give you that. Scott gives you those for free, and then you get, on the line.
Well, I ordered.
Guy comes on, man. You're all gonna go to the poorhouse.
Yeah, I ordered Fritz Reiner CD box set on eBay from a guy in Sarasota, Florida.
What, the big box? The big box?
No, not the big one. It's the smaller one with the Columbia and RCA recordings. And they said it was in my mailbox, and I got off work and I went to get it, looking forward to it, and it never came. So I had to file a claim. They're saying it was in my box, but I looked today, and it still had.
We've lost $10,000 amps. I mean, it's terrible.
Man,
Let me just talk to Sky just for a second. So Sky, I'm not gonna put you big, because I'm gonna put the record up. So I did buy that on your recommendation. Did you get a chance to read my review?
Not yet.
Because you're mentioned in it.
I kind of forgot. I was going to order it too, but I forgot which one. I was like, which one was it?
It's
this
really,
guy was saying.
It's really good. The original is good. I've streamed it. It's very good. But that recording, they did a beautiful job. Now, this is from my friend Sky. Okay. So, I think you maybe heard me at the beginning how I discovered this on a Japanese audiophile channel of two ladies, and they kind of, the Japanese ladies, they giggle sometimes, right? They giggle, and they're giggling, and they're putting it on, and it's just charming. And this recording, like I said, hopefully one of the one of the gang will find out who Herman Erler is, but he's very, very good. But it's very beautiful. The piano recording on this is fantastic, and a very fine chord set and a beautiful spring. So send me your email, okay? Because there was only two copies in the world. I mean, literally two. Both on
That's what you got. All right, thank you. So
I got them both.
Hey, I got a question for Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What was the deal with the RCA the stereo now, the action? You said it did, and I bought like two. I got them from the antique store here in Fort Worth, and I paid like 99 cents.
Oh, okay.
For one
Yeah, it's great when you can get them for 99 cents. What was the deal with it?
You said you didn't like the way it sounded.
Well, only in the right hands. There was one that I really liked, the Esquivel, but it basically was an idea that RCA had to kind of compete with Command and other labels of the time that were doing hi-fi spectaculars. So the problem is the sound went back and forth like this.
Okay.
Yeah. But
All right.
which one did you get?
I think I got the one with, I guess it was one of the trumpet players.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to look and see which one I have, because I really got hooked on the RCA living stereo, because I'm kind of like a Capitol Records junkie. I have everything with Capitol Records because I'm a Nat King Cole fan.
Oh,
and just with everything. And then when Mr. James was talking about what he had, the mono, I have 2 Frank Enfield mono albums, and I have I have 2 Matt Monroes, and I have 1 Vera Lynn.
Right.
I love those. I love that Abbey Road sound. You know, the great arrangers and conductors in Europe.
If anybody doesn't know who Matt Monroe is, check him out.
Oh yeah,
singer, died young of cancer, but what a singer. Okay, before we go on, Sky, the Jack, show him the Cravers, man, just to show.
How do you like the Cravers, Jack? Did you listen to it?
I listened to part of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I've been gone, so that's going to be my own assignment tomorrow. But I listened to side 1, and it was incredible. And I got a really mint minus copy. I think I paid. I forget what I paid, but it wasn't cheap.
But what about the cover itself? It's really
cool. Yeah.
I mean, look, yes, he showed us before in the preamble, the pre-show. Look at that.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great set. It's a great set.
It's, it's another underrated thing. Thanks to you, Sky.
I know, Sky, you naughty boy.
I think Sky ought to get his own segment on here. I think I need to be the second official replacement.
No, we can never replace you. But Sky, did you have anything to show tonight before we go on to the?
I do, but it just, to me, I was just gonna mention James. James, you always show EMI records, and here in Midwest, all we get is Angel Records, which like, it's like every time you show a record, here's an EMI, here's an EMI, here's an EMI.
Sky, you ought to try Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's well, are we showing the Mozart?
Wait. Before Sky comes on, everybody let Sky know when you have Discogs up and ready to go.
Okay, Sky. Yeah, kick off the Mozart, Sky.
I love good sounding albums. Let me get to Mozart. This is a good friend of mine here in locally. He's quite a mentor of mine, and he loves classical albums. Yesterday, actually, we spent about at least 3 or 4 Mozart's album, and actually one of them was what Scott showed, the Hogwoods. It's actually really good, and the French Decca Press, that's really good. But here, what we have the Zell on. This is a CBS Japanese press.
Oh yeah, Frederick nominated that one. It's really good.
It's really good album, and I love the cover. I mean, it's
gorgeous.
Like, you talk about felt. This is like a felt. It's really wonderful album, and the sound is
one of the best pictures I've seen of him.
I think it will put you to sleep and
the Screaming Skull,
regenerate you. It's a good album to have.
Beautiful,
very nice.
Okay, let me just bring up my nomination. Because we have so many people on tonight, I've actually taken off the stream images. So my one for, if you're going to get CD, SACD, Esoteric is very expensive. You can find it. Carl Burnham during the late Mozart symphonies. It's absolutely beautiful. Amazing sound, gorgeous playing. This is my recording that I to die for. I love it. Kingsway Hall, 1957. It's the great 63, I should say. The great Giulini. This is a Speaker's Corner. Scott, do you have this one, bud?
I do not. No.
Speaker's Corner. It's very, very beautiful. The original deck, of course, is unobtainium, and there's Giulini, and he just has them playing beautifully. And we were doing a little test the other day about the 40th Symphony. It's so gorgeous, and it's amazing the different tempos. And because Mozart writes molto allegro, you get a lot of guys going and I don't like it. And then you have Bernstein, it's so slow. But these guys like Cell and Giulini, I think they hit the tempo just right. So that's my recommendations. Jack, do you have any Mozart for us? Let me just get you up. Yes.
So this is the 70, I guess it's 79, but this is a reissue done in the mid 80s, and the sound is superb on this.
His George Gramophone one, his 40 and 41 on
the remake is real good, and he does a great job on it.
Great tempos as well. Scott, you want to show us that? Scott, you want to show us that your Hogwood record?
Yeah, Hogwood.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. That's really a good one.
I've got two of these. I've got this one, which is the ones we're talking about. Beautiful sound on this. I've always been a fan of these, and that's another one. But yeah, they're on a purple label, I believe.
Yeah, just purple.
Like that.
Oh yeah. Paolo has a good question. He says Herman Krebs probably still has the best Scheherazade solos on the record. He does it with contrastion. They are very, very fine. Right up there with the Beecham and the famous one, the Reiner. They're all good. But the Krebs solos, you're right, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of those sets, right, Scott? There's more than just two. I think there are a lot of sets.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. This is only two. This is volume 6 and 7. So,
yeah. Jim, do you have a Mozart recommendation from the 39?
I do. Yeah.
Hang on, buddy. Let me get you up.
Is it EMI?
Oh, no. Charlie Mack, your friend.
It's my old friend Charlie Mack. I thought he's a brilliant Mozart conductor. I've worked with him many times, actually. Yeah.
Can you show it again?
It gives me pleasure.
Show it again, Jim.
Where was it again? Scottish.
Yeah, it's a very good. It's
Scottish Chamber. It's Lynn Records.
Lynn Records, yeah.
And there's another one as well. He does all the Hafner and all the other ones.
They're great.
They're very, very good. Very, very good.
And his Haydn with St. Luke's is very good too on Telak.
And there's also, I mean, I've got this box set of Nev Mariner. That some of them are not so hot, but actually overall he's quite good.
Yeah.
I like his middle symphony, 29-31. But Sir Charles Mackerras absolutely peerless in this sort of repertoire.
Yeah, we heard the Mariner did the 40 yesterday, and we really didn't like it on Phillips.
Right.
I was extremely surprised that it sounded very dull. It had no energy whatsoever.
Well, I have a theory about Mariner. I think, in the 60s and 70s, he was very dynamic, but he got a bit dull in the end of his life, really.
Who's that? Mariner.
Hey?
Mariner,
yeah.
Mariner, I'll tell you a quick story before we head off. Mariner was, he was a great businessman, a fine violinist with the LSO, and his early recordings where he directed them, they're incredible. They're perfect, beautiful. But as the orchestra got bigger and he's tried his hands at Mahler and stuff. So I went to see him conduct the Minnesota Orchestra in Montreal, and it was okay. It was okay. So then they came over. Tom Bowes was leading the second violins of the Academy, Smiles in the Fields. And Tom came over and with them, and they're up in they're in northern Montreal, and his limo didn't show up. Neville Mariner's limo didn't show up, and he's with Columbia Artists. Now it's not Carrie Ann who I'd have put him on my back and carried him down to Montreal. He's Neville Mariner, and so the Columbia Artists rep for there, and they're the worst friggin' people. They're these PR people. They're pains in the ass, and Tom said, "Look, Anthony and Peter Purich, my friend, and Jan, are happy to take Neville down, and so later on she came around, and it was like basically, oh my God, you're going to have Neville Mariner in the car. You are so lucky." And she looked at me, and she looked at her friends. She went to Tom. "Are these they?" That's what she said to him. "Are these like the peasants are going to take my?" Anyway, the limo showed up. Didn't have to take the magnificent Maestro in our Honda Prelude down to. Yeah. But look, at these days, Jim, you know these PR people, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, guys, we're just about done. Let's do the round robin. I will apologize to our great friend Andrew from Oz, who I couldn't get on tonight because, Andrew, I only have 6 spots, including one with the stream images. So I took that up. So we only got 6 tonight. So I'm sorry. So come on over here next week. It'd be lovely to see you again. And let's do another record label sometime, because they were wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Jack, you're in town for the next. You're at home for the next couple of weeks. Fabulous. I know that you've been subbing for Carl. Carl will be here next week, and of course Jim will be here.
I will be up north next week, so you'll be seeing me live.
You're going to be in Liverpool again?
Yeah, I will.
Man, God, you work. Okay, okay. I hope you can make it, John. But
no, it's fine. I mean, I've already tried it on my ordinary data, and it works, so that's fine.
And of course, the great Scott of the Pressing Mannings. Thank God he's back. We love Scott, and it's so much better when you're here. But it really is.
Thank you.
Of course, Joey, of course, says great show. He always gives us 5 stars. You're so great, Joey. And Andrew, Andrew says, "No worries, Anthony. Thanks, Andrew, for being so."
And Andrew, I do have the Hilary Hahn album, so I actually have 6 or maybe 7 of her albums. I will spin it, and if I can report back to you next week.
Please do.
Playboy says,
I love her playing. I mean, if you want to see her alive, it's the best concert I have ever attended. Hilary Hahn.
She's amazing. And then Robert says, "Appreciate you all." Well, we appreciate you, Robert. Thank you. So we'll be back next week with the gang. Danny, anything? How's the Pride of Fort Worth? How you doing there down there?
It's doing okay. I wasn't able last week to get on because my son came home from the weekend from college, and he got sick. So I've been tending to him the last couple of days.
Well, you know what is? Scott and I organized it, and Jim, we're here. We're talking classical music. You're welcome anytime. There's no ulterior motives, no pressure, whatever you want to do.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, I did some research on the guys the classical artists that I'm become fans of, like Fritz Reiner and Arthur Rubinstein. Those guys were like pimps. They loved women. They're in like in their 80s and 90s.
No,
and they had all these women.
No,
I was like, God, these guys are. They were.
Hey, Danny, when you have time, read about Bruckner. You want to?
No, we don't want to skip on your way.
Well, you got to think about.
I will. I'll read up on him. Yeah, but Rubinstein and Reiner
to do a whole show on Bruckner's living friends.
Man, those guys in their 80s. I mean, young girls.
I hadn't heard of that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought Sinatra and them was off the chain, but those guys.
I can't even tell you the comment that Ava Gardner said, but I'll give you a hint. They said, "What's it like living with Frank?" She said, "He's amazing. He's 159 pounds. 149 pounds of it is," and I won't say the word.
Yeah, I heard the same thing too. I heard the same thing too, and I heard Nat was pretty suave too with the ladies.
Musicians and women, it's like
And then there's Andre Previn.
Yeah,
I'm really not keen on Andre Previn because I guess because of Mia.
You have to go.
It had a lot to do with Mia Farrow. I mean, I've had that one album of him doing. I don't know if it was with another classical artist, And I have a Dinah Shore album that I have, and he arranged it for. But I really don't have nothing against it.
Don't you remember the SNL sketch with Phil Hartman as Frank Sinatra? And
Yeah.
someone comes and says, "Hey, don't bug Frank. He's still upset about the Mia thing."
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he wanted to break Woody Allen's leg, so
Anyway, guys, have a great week, and just hang on while I hang up. And
All right.
Peanut Gallery, thank you so much. You're amazing again. And we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.